and welcome to Session 0 of Spelljammer, Light of Xaryxis, which is at least how I'm going to pretend that it is pronounced. Hi everybody, I'm your Dungeon Master Kelly. I use he and him, and I'm excited to be here today because we are doing the beginning of Spelljammer, which just dropped last night on my doorstep, actually, and I'm very excited to be doing this. Literally dropped on my doorstep. I finished up our game of Call of the Netherdeep and went outside, and I had a box out there. Along with,
was it delivered by like mysterious space ravens?
It might have been delivered by dragons, because it also came with this book that I feel like I'm reading this for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe I'll find out on December 6th. All right, so hey everybody, welcome. This is a Session 0 of Spelljammer. So we're doing Dungeons and Dragons talk. We have already pre-built the characters. This is the episode where we're going to talk about how to do a Session 0, how we're doing a Session 0, and preparing for the upcoming campaign that's going to begin on Sunday the 28th. This game is going to run bi-weekly on Sundays, except for I think the first 2 weeks it runs like boom boom, just to get like a little bit of hype, and then we're going bi-weekly, and but we're going to be talking a lot about that as we go. If you've never done a Session 0 before, what we basically do is talk about the campaign and talk about what we want to do and how we want to work together to make this the best campaign possible. Hopefully, if you're watching this and you've never done one of these before, you might find them to be useful. First of all, what is Dork Tales? If you are here for the first time, Dork Tales is a bunch of nerds, predominantly in the Pacific Northwest of Canada, who like to play role-playing games, tell good stories, and are pretty good friends. And welcome. Yeah, maybe you'll be one of us someday. You can find us everywhere that Dork Tales are sold, including podcast, Twitch, YouTube, and our Discord, which you can find the link below or in the chat if you're watching live on Twitch right now. What is Spelljammer? So, Spelljammer is a Dungeons and Dragons setting that kind of takes place in wild space in the Astral Sea. Basically, it is what if pirates and seafaring naval adventure, but space. So it's not sci-fi, but it's space, and that's okay. It doesn't need to be sci-fi, because for longtime viewers of the channel know, I'm not good at running sci-fi. I freeze up when there's hard science. But when it's like, I don't know, ship's got air, it's open, you can like look up at the sails, you can climb the rigging, there's air somehow.
Magic.
Magic bullshit, Star Wars bullshit. I am all about that.
Treasure Planet bullshit.
This is basically Treasure Planet. It's like a low-tech Treasure Planet.
This is why I'm here.
This is why you're here. So minor spoiler warning, of course. We are going to talk about spoilers, not the ones on the back of your car, but some of the ones from Light of Xaryxis. We are going to be not talking about very many of them, though, because these players are all going to be going in semi new and fresh.
Unawares.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but if you want to play this game and not know anything, like not even like know what a dungeon or a dragon is, maybe click off right now. Or just leave it playing in the background if you want to help the algorithm. But we are going to talk about mild spoilers. So this session is going to be about all of our character interactions, kind of what the campaign is going to be about, our scheduling, any issues that we might have, and just kind of things that are going to make this function smoother. We're also going to, of course, like I said, be running every other Sunday, and those are going to be up on Twitch on the Sunday, obviously, but they're going to be up, I guess, on Tuesday on our YouTube then for about 48 hours later. And then about a week later, it'll be up on our podcast, which you should be able to find anywhere that you get your podcasts. Look up Dork Tales, give us a follow, give us a 5-star review. I might use your name in an episode. And yeah, and if you can't find the podcast, let me know. Yes, just chat. D&D does have dragons. It's not just being not disturbed. And with that, let's go around real quick, and I want you to each tell me a little bit of something about yourself so the chat gets to know you. So I'll start off. Like I said, I'm the Dungeon Master. I'm Kelly. I'm an Aquarius. He, him. And I am a writer, performer, sometimes Batman voice actor, and general all-around nerd that's in charge of this circus. So that's fun. I'm gonna pass the baton over to Amy.
Hello, I am Amy. I use she, her, they, them pronouns. I'm a Scorpio, because apparently we're doing that.
The sexiest sign.
Not really. I mean, someone thinks that. I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, yeah. I am now derailed. Thanks, Kelly.
That's why I'm here.
Good job. You can find me in the chat and occasionally streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/paradoxicalghoul. And I edit research papers. That's what I do. And I'm in a lot of games here.
And
Mostly.
soon to be more.
Sure.
Probably. Knowing you.
Maybe. We'll see. Depends.
All right.
Depends on the game.
Friends of the game. Anything else you want to toss in?
I don't know. Chat looks like it's hopping, and I'm excited for this game and my character.
Sounds great. We're going to talk about that in just a sec. So, Christa.
Hello, I'm Christa. I use I feel like I'm just going to repeat Amy because I use they, them, and she, her pronouns. I'm a Scorpio.
The sexiest sign.
The sexiest sign. Yeah, I'm super stoked to be here. I joked that it was because of Treasure Planet vibes, but really it's because of these people, and I'm very excited to play with all of them. Much stoked. Welcome everybody new people in the chat that are coming here from other games and finally watching news. So yes,
I love it.
Welcome. We love having you here. Go to our Discord if you're not already.
Yeah, seriously, it's a really lovely place. Take your shoes off as you go in, though. We've got a rule. All right, down.
We've
at
got
the bottom,
spare slippers for everyone, though.
We got spare slippers. Don't worry. They're all shaped like your favorite animal, whatever it is. Yes, even that one. Let's pass down to Kat.
All right, talking about favorite animals, I'm one of the bunnies in chat. I'm Kat at twitch.tv/Captain Starbun. I am a trans girl VTuber primarily. And I have been in Dork Tales for a while. I've been in lots of games in Dork Tales, and I'm especially excited for this one when Kelly mentioned Treasure Planet vibes. So, I am a Virgo.
The sexiest sign.
Ooh, baby. And I use she, her pronouns.
Nice. All right, passing it over one to Millie, also known as...
Hi, it's me, Millie. I'm the other trans girl bunny VTuber in the stream because we're particularly good at this. You can find me doing cozy comfy content over at twitch.tv/bunnyhearted and wherever bunnies are found. I'm a Gemini, the double sexiest sign, I'll have you know, because there's two of me maybe. And I'm really quite excited for this game. I love stuff that takes D&D and goes somewhere non-standard with it. And I really, really love the sort of like ether space, treasure planet, pirate ships in an asteroid belt kind of thing. I think it's going to be really, really fun. And I've been looking forward to this for so long. So I am delighted to be here.
Nice. And finally,
All
last
about
but
the
not
doubles here.
right. Last but not least, in the corner that he picked for himself, Mike.
No one puts Michael in the corner except Michael. Michael
Yes.
put himself in the corner. Hi, everyone. It's me, Michael, he, him pronouns, and I am Dork Tales' resident graphic designer and the creator of all these awesome frames. And so I'm framing all of my friends for something that I haven't done yet.
That's true.
Probably a whole bunch of things I have done already.
That's
But
true.
let's see, I'm a Leo. I'm
The sexiest.
Actually, I just had my birthday. It's the big 5-0, so it's
Happy
yay.
birthday.
Wait, was it? I thought you had one
Thank
more
you.
year.
No, this was it was a big
Nice.
one.
You're
So-
like halfway to a century, man. You only got halfway to go.
I know, if I was a fruit fly, I'd be dead already.
Like many times.
Oh.
Now you know what an
Most of us
elf
would be.
feels like, though. Now you know what an elf feels like. If I was a human, I'd be dead by now.
Yeah, yeah. And let's see, I'm a full-time graphic designer, so this is kind of my weekend gig where I get to hang out with friends and make cool stuff even cooler. So here
That's
I
true.
am, here to party.
Mike makes us look good. All right, so folks, we're gonna go and talk about characters right now. So we had the ignoble, in order to get this out pretty much as soon as we could, and in order to commission our artist Kiyoshuki, who is an amazing artist. If you ever need any work done, look up Kiyoshuki. There will be a credit at the end of the episode if you're watching on YouTube. But amazing artist, very reasonably priced, and does phenomenally fast work.
Wow.
But even
So
right,
amazing.
so fast, so good, so fast, so furiously good. And So we had to create characters slightly before when any details of the book came out, because Wizards of the Coast was really, really tight on leaks this time, and we're not on their press list like we are with Free League. Step up, Wizards. If the Scandinavians couldn't let us have it, you should too.
Y'all are even on the coast. What are they waiting for? You're
I know.
right there.
That's because I'm not a wizard.
What?
That's fair.
You've been
No,
lying
Lie to
for
me.
the whole
You're
time?
not a what?
I'm not a wizard or a lizard, but I'm working
But
on
the
it.
sorting hat and everything.
Bard.
That was just a baseball cap I bought in Tofino.
Damn it.
All
We're
right.
all so gullible.
It's a good hat. So you're going to talk about your characters. Now, we have two ways to do this. You can either tell me a little bit about your character, kind of the general pitch of who they are, because I know I've asked you to kind of keep them as like a touch of a blank slate for background purposes, for like so that we could wedge them into whatever spot Spelljammer picked. And here's the minor spoiler that I'm going to say, or so stop right now if you don't want a spoiler. We were expecting this game to take place in space, but it's not. From the beginning, you start on a planet and then kind of end up in space, partially by accident. So the fact that you were all playing spacefaring people from the start might not be something we want to keep.
Is this
You
Wild
might wanna-
Beyond the Astral Plane?
Right?
I mean,
It's kind of Wild Beyond the Witchlight with pirates. Like, it's pretty good. That's the only thing that Wild Beyond the Witchlight needed.
Yeah.
So as you're looking at this, talk about your character as much as possible. I can also suggest some background things that would fit with the story, or we could all talk about this like together in a few minutes. What do you think is best? Together or separate?
I like together because we were talking
like
about how we
together.
wanted to be a sort of
Mhm.
preformed crew. So
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, that sounds good. So why don't we go in reverse order from what we just did? So let's start with Mike. Mike, you tell me about your character. Who's Wrek?
I'm scared. No, like before we started this, we were kind of joking about this being like a daycare and how it's nap time. And I immediately piped up and said, "No, I want to finger paint," because my character is essentially the rebel of the group. I based the character largely on my kitten. So I'm playing a goblin mutant because he's red colored for some reason. Not entirely sure why.
He's
I'm
just
sure we'll figure that
embarrassed.
out. Yeah, maybe the entire time. And he is a monk of the open hand, but he doesn't actually use his hands. He's all a foot guy, so clunks around with big steel-toed boots and does a lot of kicking of people, which is unfortunate because he's only 3'7".
So you
So
remember the
most of the
foot
kicking is like below the waist.
Shin kicks hurt.
Yeah, you're just the knee
Yeah.
a lot of
breaker.
ankle related.
Yeah. Ankles, knees, and as
Joke on
high
you.
as he can hit with a high kick.
I think his catchphrase is going to be "walk it off."
Mm.
All right, Millie, tell us about Tana Starbell.
Sure. So Tana Starbell is both a fantastic name and an astral elf. I think that she is an astral elf exile, which is how she got here. I think that this is something that could work okay for not being from space, coming from the astral plane and just being like, well, I'm on dirt now. That's neat. Character-wise, she is a seeker warlock, which means her patron is sort of the idea of going out to find cool stuff.
Nice.
And that comes with all sorts of fun and interesting and very on theme abilities. I'm very much picturing her as a like utility caster with a little bit of damage to be spicy.
Nice. That sounds great. Kat, tell us about Cheshire.
All right. So Cheshire is a glitchling. And the way that I've
Which
kinda
is like the
pictured-
one race that didn't end up in the book because it's from that brand new thing that they're doing. They're seeding some other campaign setting with glitchlings, but they seem like they would fit well enough into this.
Well, and the especially funny thing is like I had zero picture references for what a glitchling should be based on. It just said a humanoid with wings made out of kind of magic-y stuff. So I'm just like,
Magical anime girl.
ooh, magical anime girl, because I mean, obviously we all know me. I love my anime girls.
Of
Um,
course.
Because I am one. So she is a glitchling druid circle of the stars.
Nice.
And I'm kind of picturing her. I as very much of a up close and fun fighter, not fighter class obviously, but
Scrapper.
scrapper. And I'm thinking kind of like how you hear the odd story of like these insanely smart teenagers, for instance, accidentally making like nuclear reactors in their back sheds. I'm
Oh dear.
kind of imagining that's kind of how she was created, because it's glitchlings are magical construct things. So I'm kind of imagining like some like young like wizard type was experimenting with magic one day in their backyard, and poof, girl.
Okay. Who made Cheshire?
Are you like a Powerpuff Girl?
Sugar, spice, trans vibes.
I
Have two
mean,
siblings?
No.
did you?
No.
Okay, no.
Maybe.
I'm in this photo and I like it.
Sugar,
need a
spice,
familiar
hormone
so you
replacement
can-
therapy.
What you need like familiar, and then for your sibling just to be a very small version of you. I got all the. It's just like it's the Schwarzenegger DeVito shift, right?
Oh,
We are twins.
accurate. Chemical estradiol. Yes.
Macro, that's what I said. I was like, this is very weird science vibe, but I'm here for it.
It,
From my heart,
weird science
from my
vibe. There you go.
hands.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's yeah. I think she's gonna be pretty cool though. I have some cool ideas for how she does her wild shape.
Fantastic. Yeah, the only thing that would have made that better is if you'd gone full Warforged and managed to costume that somehow, and then turned into steel animals.
That would
Because
be
then you-
super cool.
You would just be a member of Voltron then.
You're a
Literally.
beast.
I do have some pretty cool ideas that I think that I hope are gonna actually come off neat. But we'll see. But she's gonna be a lot easier to costume than a Warforged.
Nice. And talk to me I saw that you had a really neat necktie on yours. I might have a necktie that can work until you get another one.
Sounds good.
Because I don't know if you have a bunch of neckties or you got rid of them when you
I
started.
I got rid of a lot of my neckties, and for the most part, I was gonna like staple some fabric together to make a costume.
I think Christa might be able to help you before then. Maybe. But honestly,
I can give some direction if nothing else. I know
Okay.
we'll talk about it in a second, but I might have bit off a little more than I could chew for
yeah,
myself.
I was
so
wondering
we'll
about
see.
that. We'll find out. Well, are you gonna have like a last minute like shift to a different race?
I was gonna say, if we had a second, I ran and grabbed a thing to show off my backup. But go ahead, whoever's next.
Okay, do you get to show it off camera or?
No, I'll show it on camera as once
Well,
we get
you're
to it.
next. After
I'm
Kat, you're up because we're going
We
reverse.
jumped ahead. Perfect. Hi. So I'm going to be playing Francis Ponsby. They're a GIF. Hence possibly biting off a little more than anticipated. But worst case scenario, I have a bud who will suffice if I get real stuck.
Why can't you just make a cloth version of that like as a headdress?
Because it needs structure to move.
No, but
My-
think of the Lion King.
Oh, yeah, but
It's a way.
it is a way. I already have a massive understructure that just needs things on top of it.
Hey,
Ha, 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 ha. It's just a matter if I'm going to be able to see out of it at the moment. But worst case scenario, I steal this from my sister because it's very good.
that's pretty cute.
You don't need to see. You're streaming.
He needs a hat.
Yeah, he does. Wouldn't you have a good little hat? He needs a Henley for my.
he needs a Henley.
Yes, no, Francis is a Francis, they're very boisterous and very excited to get in a scuffle, but never like cruel or aggressive about it. Just very excited to possibly get a chance to squish someone with their warhammer.
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
Oh, Okay.
A jolly good scuffle. Good, yes.
A jolly good scuffle. And finally, Amy, tell me a little bit about the unpronounceable.
Mulj Plava. They're a plasmoid, barbarian, and I love them a lot. Just
It's
intuitive
slime
concept.
time.
Their character type is an ooze, and they like to hug people really, really tightly.
Aw.
So there's gonna be a lot of grappling. I've decided I don't want to use any weapons, so I went barbarian, and well, actually, that'll be figured out later. Or armor. They might have a tendency to just explode into like a blob of slime and
Do you have the ability to do damage with your bare hands?
once I apply a certain feat, yes.
Okay, yeah, because we're all starting at level 5. So
Yeah. This was my plan. My plan was level 4. I take a certain feat, and then I get the unarmed combat stuff, and then they get to apply damage by hugging.
are you
I
are you
love
just taking
this.
grappler?
No.
Okay, good.
All
I was like, please
all
don't
the time.
actually just hug people. Have hugging be an option.
No, it'll be an option. But
good.
basically, it'll be an unarmed. Gives a bonus to unarmed combat specifically. But
Nice.
there's this part of it that applies to grappling damage
Okay.
specifically. But also because of being a plasmoid, they get bonuses to like grapples and stuff.
And what is your focus? You are playing. So out of everybody, I think you were the only one that suggested a non Wizards of the Coast. It was like a
It was a third party, but it was like one of the
a reputable third party.
ones.
It was one of the ones
it's
I looked at and I was like, this is fine. This
Path
looks
of
good.
the Depths is
Yeah.
what I went with. So it's it doesn't do too much, but it does have a cool thing where it like can reach out and grab creatures and pull them closer if they're like a certain size range if you succeed on it. It
You're
doesn't
that- you're-
grapple them or
You're one of those gummy hands that you used to get out of coin machines.
No, okay. So the other thing about plasmoids is like I need to double check if it's true with like the actual official release, but it's like they can have a like is this pseudopod or something? Anyway,
So-
part of them can
Mhm.
like detach and go and do stuff. So I'm like, okay, you know those little my art, blob.
Yeah.
But also they can just extend and grab.
So, and unlike a normal plasmoid,
This.
you're playing one that generally kind of looks like themselves. Like this is what plasmoids look like in the book.
Yeah. So
you have more structure.
a little bit, but I don't think they always do. I think when they have to interact specifically with people, they go more structure.
And I think Solomon
But
in the
on
chat
their own
was
time, they
saying,
probably just hang out and just chill.
Solomon
Okay,
in the chat
Odo.
was saying that you look like Rimuru Tempest from that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and that's
Might
pretty
have had
accurate.
some mild inspiration
But you
from
gotta,
that.
because otherwise you're just
Gotta.
wearing a pillowcase over your head the entire time, right?
The
painting
other
it blue.
inspiration is I've been killing slimes for 100 years or something, and I've reached max level.
Nice. So the only thing that changed between the pre-release of Plasmoid and the actual physical release
Yeah.
is a single line that says, while in humanoid shape, you can wear clothing and armor.
Oh,
They
I
just
thought they
wa-
could always do that.
I think they always could, but they just spelled it out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Unlike with
'Cause
the
it-
with the Thrykeen, where they don't specifically say that you can attack with your extra hands, even though you can wield a weapon with them. Like, it doesn't say that it adds to your attack sequence. So I think that's a little vague. So luckily no one's
Mhm.
playing an insect person. That's Krista's next character when the ambition comes back.
I mean, if I had the patience to do that kind of costuming, when I read the description of the Thrykeen, all I could think was Tholian.
Yeah, basically.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I was full on like, if I was able to costume a Tholian, I would 100% do that.
Well, save up your costuming budget. We'll make it
Gateway
happen.
Virus ant.
I was thinking that you were going to be an auto gnome, to be honest, Kat. So I'm pretty happy with the glitchling.
So am I.
The auto
That
gnome
was-
That was my backup if I didn't
Was to
think
be
I
an
could
auto
figure
gnome,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, was to be an auto gnome.
All right. So, folks, we're going to talk about a couple things here. So, I think that all of you should already know each other. I have a couple of
I think so, too.
suggestions. I have a couple of suggestions for characters. So, Kat, for Cheshire, I need to know, not tonight, but before game one, who your parents are.
Okay.
Because I'm getting kind of a battle angel vibe off of you.
You kinda? Yeah.
Like found in a junkyard, accidentally brought you back to life type of thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Hidden memories, maybe.
probably.
Millie, as for you, so Astral Elf Exile. Because Astral Elves age even more slowly than normal elves, my question is, are you an exile, or were your parents or parents' parents exiles? And then you're like,
I feel like it's her. I
okay,
think she's screwed up.
screwed up.
Got kicked out. Is trying to win her way back in.
Okay, sounds good. So with that, if you want that, then you will have a little bit of secret knowledge of the universe. Not too much, because you're probably pretty low level when you got here. So out of the Spelljammer book, I would suggest for backgrounds, if you've not already picked one, there's a fun one right at the... They only give you 2 backgrounds in the entire book. But the one I might suggest that you take a look at is Astral Drifter. So with this one, it's you were kind of tossed out into the astral sea, and you actually are 20d6 years older than you look, because you don't age in the astral sea, which I think is pretty dope.
Of course.
You also have you get a feat out of this, which is pretty cool. There's another one called Wild Spacer, which is you were raised in the void of wild space, which gives you some cool stuff too.
That one seems a bit too badass. That one could be useful. I'd taken Sage as a temporary measure.
We'll take a look at it. It's
but
at the document
I
I sent
might
you.
swap it out. So
Okay.
we'll see.
All
It's
right.
easy enough to switch them.
So, and then Francis, you're still going with Christa, that Francis was raised by giants, or with giants, or knows
I
giants.
never specifically said giants, but I'm down
Okay.
to be raised by giants.
Well, for you took a feat.
Was that a thought you had?
Well, it's
right.
because we were
So,
talking
okay,
about
so very distant conversations that I understand how you linked in your head. Yes, because originally I wanted to take a feat about giant abilities. I don't know. Maybe it's dumb damage is really all it is, which is fun. But I don't know. I think it does make sense if you, because we're basing this on Elos, correct?
Well, that's my next question actually is, so the way this module works is you start in a seaside town in any world of your choice. So we could pick, you could be starting in Toril, we could be starting in Varesia, in Sandpoint, in Pathfinder, for all I care about, or we could start in Elos. If we start in Elos, we'll have to have a brief conversation about what continent, and I've got a bunch of names for a town that we're going to vote on, because I don't think it should be a pre-existing town, because we don't really... We've been around Kmore City a lot recently, and I honestly think if Fantasy LA gets hit by what this game starts with, it's going to be a problem. I want this to be a tiny town. So if it is Elos,
Cat may
then
have a question.
yes,
Ellie,
Kate. Yeah.
if we do Elos, can Edagon be Cheshire's dad? I'm only half kidding.
I'm only half squinting. Hold on. There you go. I'm only half squinting my eyes at you. Amy.
If we're starting on Elos, can I have been a worker at Uzi Lands, where the Ublex...
Was it Uziland or was it Oblexiland? I don't remember.
We ended up with,
I-
it's in my notes somewhere, but you know, the Ooze run theme park.
That was run by the Oblexes and is... But go back and watch that episode, guys. It's a fantastic episode where they go to a theme park ran by oozes because Disney is lawful evil. Prove me wrong, and so are Oblexes. It was so good. They tried to get a merchandising deal with the PCs because they wanted to get you guys for a Guardians of the Galaxy breakout style attraction. Oh, my homebrew's so dumb. I love it. I'm gonna die. So potentially, okay, are we just gonna decide that this is Elos?
I think it'd be fun.
Okay, cool. That
Yeah,
a
I
time.
think so.
It'd be really fun.
Okay, so
It's fun to
Christa,
launch out of like a familiar setting. So
Christa, do you have the list of our gods for your cleric?
I don't currently, but I
Okay,
can look that up and work on that. I can look at a couple of things if you want to move on.
Totally.
to
What I will
some-
do is I'll just send you the link in our chat right now,
Thank you.
which is right there. So that's a list of our religion. That's not the update. I think this is it's pretty updated. It's not quite as shiny as the one that Traz and Random did, but that's the one that's in my bookmarks right now. And if you take a look at them and none of those gods work, we can always make a brand new god, because honestly, they're showing up all the time.
Totally.
It's literally the land of, you know, wandering gods. It'd be, Solomon has a point. Technically, it would be Cheshire Gonzalez cat.
That's fair.
So,
And I mean,
Cheshire Gonzalez. That just sounds like either a Marvel superhero or a professional wrestler, or both.
okay, well, I'm just gonna stew with how amazing this entire thing sounds.
All right, so Christa, look at gods. I can tell you more about them since you are the least knowledgeable about our homebrew of most of the people here. So I can sum that up for you. Okay, so is anybody using any funny accents? I need to know that right off the bat, just so we can get our accents in order. Who's British? Who's Irish? I mean, I think you're colonial British, Christa. If you're a GIF.
Yes. Oh,
I
yes.
say
It's
pip,
very-
pip, cheerio.
yes,
Hey.
quite. Pip, pip.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm kind of hyperactive toddler.
Yeah, you're kind of like hyperactive toddler with a touch of like LA, I think.
A little bit.
Touch of
Little bit.
Oh my
California.
god.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
All right, Tana, do you have an accent? Are you
I
a
don't think
high?
so. I think I did just do a very silly German accent, so I think I'll just do like a little bit of a stiff upper brow.
You've
not
lost
quite
it over the
British
last bit of time.
upper lip.
Maybe when
What?
astral elves show up, you might. Oh yes.
Gotta revert into the oh yes, it is I, elf
lost you.
of the stars.
And we are confirming that elves have, particularly astral elves, have the Hugo Weaving British accent.
I think that they're legally required to.
So-
yes.
Yama. Oh, Astralis.
They all
can
have to
see
whisper.
it in the
They can't speak in a
stars.
full.
What are you looking at, Christa? Join me.
We all gotta sound like Skyrim NPCs.
Yes, you must
You're
look at the
finally
camera and
awake.
not blink.
Take
You're
an arrow to the
finally-
knee.
Take an arrow to the knee. Aw, who's getting engaged? Okay, so that's gonna cover that. So we're gonna be in Elos. So you guys are starting in a small town. So I'm starting a small adventure. Let's see how it goes. Adventure structure. This is gonna be a really interesting game. So for anybody who was looking to run this is a ridiculous book. For one, the NPCs are really solid in this. I'm actually really liking everybody I've come across. I've read about half of this, and I've read the Astral Adventures guide about cover to cover. So this adventure is inspired by like Flash Gordon, particularly the movie, and it even encourages you to go watch the 1980 Flash Gordon movie, which Queen does the soundtrack for. So if you needed something to, get behind, let's see. It tells me that any non-player character who is not fighting the heroes should defer to you to give you a sense that you matter. I love that it says that right up front.
No.
End each session with a cliffhanger, and when it says paraphrase or something like that, do memorable quotes, embellish with pertinent events or memorable quotes from game sessions. I'm thinking that I'm going to start each game session. So like, so it's like, let me just show you. So after the first chapter, the second one is, so like driven from, it kind of gives a little summary of the previous episode, but I want to kind of do it like, meanwhile, in the small settlement of, like that. Like I want to do it like an old serial. It's going to be pretty
sounds pretty
great.
rad.
You guys are going to level up only a couple of times, basically once per grand chapter, and which is usually like once every three adventures you'll probably level up or so. It's going to be a lot of fun. The game is going to start at a coastal community that is kind of like a fishing community. Think like Saltmarsh. They honestly suggest a couple of different options for you. Saltmarsh being one of them. Neverwinter is another one.
That could be a fun
I
one.
think we can easily create one. Do we want this to be on like Telusia or Argeny, like two of the main continents on Elos? Do we want to do that? So Telusia is basically kind of like the US mixed with England a little bit. And then Argeny is all of the other European nations kind of crammed together. Very French. I feel like it's Toulousian if it's anything, or we can pop it in the
yeah, I
the
feel
Greco-
Toulouse.
the Greek-inspired area.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
My brain
Yeah,
says
for-
Dione, but probably not.
Oh, I don't think I can hear you guys right now.
We
I
were
don't think
wondering
so. Yeah,
about
we were
that because
worried
you weren't
about that.
responding to
That's really
anything we were saying.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's
Hmm.
good to know.
One sec.
Uh,
Are you on? I
Can
feel like
chat
you
hear
should
us,
be.
though?
Chat.
Yeah, I think everyone
Chat.
can hear us except Kelly.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds like Chad can.
I can hear you now. I somehow
Yay.
bumped
Hello,
the mute.
hello.
I bumped the mute button.
Oh, no.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Did you know these things had a mute button?
We
Yes.
do now.
We
All
had
right.
like all sorts of questions and thoughts and
Yeah,
stuff the whole
all
way
sorts of
through.
stuff.
Oh, did you? Well, damn.
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna
So-
be difficult. All right, so what are your questions and thoughts now that I can hear you?
Do you want me to set you up a frame for when you do like the recap, and then you can do it like black and white, so it's like old timey radio kind of thing?
I kind of do.
Okay, I can
That
do
sounds
that.
pretty rad.
I kind of do.
Mhm.
And if you could find me some
Yeah.
film reel footage that I can make partially
Alright.
transparent over me, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can do that.
Krista.
Okay, so question. So the feat I was talking about was Strike of the Giants.
Yeah.
So this actually kind of works better because originally I was saying that he was like a mercenary and he had spent a bunch of time working for a bunch of giants. But if he ends up on Elos and ends up being raised by giants, because I kind of imagine him being like dumped at a barracks somewhere as a
Hmm.
baby and no one knows where he's from, and he was this weird hippo person, or they
Hmm.
were this weird hippo person that everyone was like, I don't know what you are, and you know they're the only gift they've ever met, and but hanging
Hmm.
out with giants, they're a little bit smaller than normal but pretty close.
Yeah.
So the question is I was debating between fire giants and cloud giants.
Cloud giants are way cooler. Fire
Fantastic.
Fire giants. Okay, so at least Elos kind of giant history and Elos history are not exactly the same, but the types of giant are pretty similar to the books. Fire giants are like, we make weapons, we blow shit up.
Yeah.
Cloud giants are like, to the murder garden where we shall discuss your demise.
I love that, and the fact that they are constantly like running off and being like, but I just want to hit them, I don't want to plan their demise.
Francis, you put on your bow tie and join the dinner party.
Anime villain.
Yeah.
Now you
Okay,
must practice
wonderful.
throwing this rose. You throw it, there's
Okay.
an explosion. How did you manage to do that? Oh, there is also a warlock patron that could be worshipped as well, which is the glint in the Westwoods. It is a patron of guns. Yeah.
I don't want him to be
Okay.
too gun happy.
You don't want to be a patron by Glint Westwood?
No, I feel like he's gonna end up with a gun once he gets into, or what they're gonna end up with a gun once they get into space. But I think they're gonna start without it because they're gonna just use a big warhammer most of the time.
See,
They like
I
to get up
feel-
close and personal.
If you want to be raised by cloud giants, that's totally fine by me. Go to dinner
Awesome.
parties and things like that. Did anybody else have any more questions about that portion?
Did we figure out a name for where we're starting out?
So-
Because I like to throw my idea in for Roswell.
I was thinking, I think that's a little too on the nose.
RAHZWEHL.
No, I'll say
Roswell.
Roshwell.
Well,
Roswell.
Roswell. I'd be more okay with
no one would
Roswell.
know.
So
Who
I've
would
got
they know?
Dungannon, Belchurlish, Holside, Uncanny Cove, or Barnacle Mouth.
Great. Oh my
I think Barnacle Mouth's probably right out, to be honest. As much as we love it, that's probably
Aw.
like the pub.
Yeah, okay.
Starfence.
It does sound like
Yeah, Barnacle Mouth should be the pub.
I do like Uncanny Cove. That's kind of good, but that also
I
sounds
also
kind
like
of like a. It does kind of also sound like a pub or a restaurant too.
Uncanny.
Mhm.
Well,
It could that could be a pub in the
That could be the inn.
Yeah,
Uncanny,
okay.
Uncanny Cove is a thank you to Uncanny Kate, who helped me get some of the info I needed to you guys about your
Oh.
characters.
Gotcha.
So I was very thankful to them for helping me out with that. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kate. I could go to a name generator for towns. Let's do this. Aria, Arkala, Croydon, Krasmir,
Croydon.
Norfolk, which
Did
is
we
just
decide
Norfolk.
which continent it was going to be on? I know we were saying like Toulouse.
Probably
Mhm.
Toulouse. Probably Toulouse.
Toulouse.
I'm thinking it's going to be Toulouse. Probably a Dragon's Mouth.
Nice.
Everything's up by
How
the
do you
damn
spell
dragons.
Toulouse?
Talusia. You can also spell it as the TAS for the Toulousian Allied States, or the TSA for the Toulousian State Alliance. But you could be a town called Solaris. That just seems like that's a problem. I like.
Well, but Nacro said star fence, which I like.
What's
but
the
I like
fence?
Solaris as like a star idea.
Mm-hmm.
How about I would say, well, I like Uncanny Cove, so that's going to be in there at least in some, even if there is just a cove called the Uncanny Cove.
I really
Right.
do like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I the name is amazing.
So Hullside. So what we could do and call it Starside,
Sure.
or we can just
Ooh,
call
I
it
like
Star.
Starside.
I
Or
like
Starboard.
Starside.
Millie's character has a star in it already. We're kind of
True,
like
it's
doubling
true.
up.
Oh.
I mean, it's spelled.
Maybe the town's named after me. I'm that old.
Maybe.
My
Maybe
other
she came through at some point.
thought, if we have Uncanny Cove, is the town not just called Uncanny? Maybe?
It could be. It could
That
be.
is pretty cute too.
Yeah. Oh, where are you from, Uncanny?
Please tell me they have a fish canning plant there.
Yeah, the canny
Called
uncanny,
Uncanning.
the uncanny cannery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then you go into the mine. There's a mine nearby which is full of uncanny canaries.
Oh my god. Okay. I love this. I really do.
Okay, there's a town that I just generated called Dalmellington. And I
I feel
love
like they're our competition.
it. Dalmellington?
They're
From
across
I
the
feel like we
cove.
hate those guys.
Yeah, they
Uncanny is
suck.
pretty good.
Uncanny
Uncanny's
and
really
Del
good.
Mellington or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Dalmellington.
Like
There's a
other
lot of
points
L's.
of a cove.
We call it Innsmouth. It's just you guys are in Innsmouth. No. Leaside is another one. That's kind of cute. Probably not for this though. So you want to go? Are we going with Starsize or are we going with Uncanny?
I like Uncanny.
I like
Really like
Uncanny.
I think I do
Uncanny.
too.
All right, make a U for Uncanny. Give me a thumbs up for Starside. All right, we're
Crab
just
pinchers.
Crab Pinchers, Uncanny. Small town named Uncanny. Sounds good. Done.
I don't know why, but I picture everyone in Uncanny when they have like town meetings, instead of applauding, they all just like
What is it, like the Aspen of like the seaside area? It was-
Oh my god.
We just snap. We're very good. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of the session 0. So, all right, so we've got it on Elos. It's in a place called Uncanny. And I will put a star next to that so I know. Uncanny star. We could have called this. Never mind. It was going to be a dumb anime reference. Okay, so what we're going to talk about right now is tone, themes, and content, as well as house rules. And yeah, these are really important to actually go through as a group. So if you've never done a session 0, knowing what everybody is coming to the table for is really important. So first of all, if this was a film rating, I'm thinking that this is going to be like, my want is PG-13 with some occasional R language. That sound about
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
talking,
Yeah, I can give that.
but like I'm thinking like a 1980s PG-13, you know? Not a modern PG-13.
You're gonna have to be more specific because I don't know what that means.
Occasional Indiana Jones was only PG. And it had melting Nazis.
Okay.
And if there are any Nazis in space, we're going to melt them.
Yes.
As is tradition.
It is the
Understood,
tradition of
yeah.
our people. It's that time of year again.
Crab.
Okay, so besides that, themes. So some themes that we're going to be exploring in this are mostly going to be adventure. Probably a race against time. How to phrase this? Okay, this game is so trying not to spoil anybody, this game is a mix of Flash Gordon, the ending of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and parts of Guardians of the Galaxy 1. That's basic, and a little bit Mass Effect 3. So it's got a touch of like, I'm not saying that there are Reapers, but there aren't not Reapers in this. So impending mortality might be a theme that comes up. As well, there may be death. So hey, it's D&D, it happens. Cleric, get some diamonds. All right, does anybody
I have to heal people?
with the hammer?
Yeah.
Heal them with a hammer.
You'll come back in the next life.
Well.
What healing spells can a warlock take?
A seeker, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I get much.
My only spells are punch and grab.
We're all gonna die.
I haven't done my spells yet.
I mean, game's
We're all
not for a
gonna
week and a half, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right,
no
not that
changes
kind of
at this
cleric.
point. Only violence. We
so,
kill them before they hit us, then we win. We're fine.
So we're gonna talk about lines and veils right now. So lines and veils are hard lines in the sand that like we will not cross. Anybody who has any specific ones, and veils are things where we're kind of like, I'd probably prefer not to have this. The generally ones that we have on the channel are that we don't have any type of sexualized violence, or if anything like that is brought up, it's by the player's request or control, and to the comfort of everybody present. That does not fit this adventure at all. I think there's probably nothing even particularly sexist about this module. Maybe some light, like, knightly chauvinism, but that's goofy and it's kind of the fantasy genre. We can get rid of that if you don't want that too. I don't care. Anybody have any lines or veils for social situations? Because largely this is an adventure module. Calling it Treasure Planet really kind of hits. There's going to be a lot of piracy. You guys don't get your own boat, but you do get a ship that like you get full access to. So that's good. And you get honestly one of the best crewmates in any published material that I've ever seen, ever.
Oh, nice.
I don't want to upsell how cool this NPC is, but he's probably the coolest NPC in any WotC book that's ever been published.
That sounds really exciting.
You'll understand when you see him. He's worth you not getting your own ship.
That's the sound of Kelly setting the bar much higher.
Mhm.
No. What? Because like I could pull Christine in right now to confirm this.
Well,
But,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, me too.
He's so good. He shows up in episode something. So
I don't think I have any like ones beyond the standard table ones around like, sexualized violence. Yeah.
Okay, cool. If anybody doesn't want to tell me publicly and wants to send me a PM later, that's also totally acceptable, and then I can disseminate it as if it was from the gods themselves. And of course, as with all games, if anybody ever has a problem, you can always either send a PM through the chat, or you can just say, like, just be like, hey, let's fade to black, let's cut out here, type of thing. Christa.
I always like to bring this up just because we air these, and I like to show people that your lines don't have to always be just really bad stuff. They can be really simple things. If you've watched a session 0 with me before, I've said this before. I don't like to be told I'm stupid.
I mean, that's fair. Very few people like that, and it's good to know that we shouldn't say that to you.
Yes, and it is a thing that like as long as like you can like as long as it is very clearly like an in character thing, it's fine. But if like I make a choice to do something and someone says, well, that was stupid, why did you do that, like why did you use one ability instead of another or something like that, that's going to be really upsetting for me, and I will probably shut down for the rest of game and struggle to come back the following week. So it may be silly, it may be, you know, it may seem very trivial, but for me, that's the thing that really sets me off. And I don't think that anyone in this Zoom call would do that. But I like to put it out there for people watching to know that if that's your kind of line, it's an okay line to call.
Well, and I think there's a big difference between going like, Christa, I'm going to say something just as
Go
a
right ahead.
theoretical, if you don't mind.
Yes.
But like, Christa, that was really dumb. Why did you pick that ability over that ability? Versus, wow, that was really dumb that Francis tied himself to a barrel of gunpowder and blew himself up to launch himself to the other ship.
Yeah.
Right? Because like one is like the character had a stupid plan. The other is the player is being attacked. And you never attack the player. The character doesn't actually have feelings. The player does.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and see, I think, and even that, I would tweak it even a little bit more
Yeah.
to say, if Tara walked up to Francis and was like, "You idiot, why did you do that?"
Mm-hmm.
That's different than going, "Oh my God, I can't believe Francis was so stupid to have done this," right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
as
more
long as it
clearly
is
in character.
yes, if it's
Makes
in
a
character
difference.
and clearly character to character, makes perfect sense. But as soon as it feels like it's coming out of character, it can be a little much. So
Well,
If it means anything, Wrek thinks you're all a bunch of potatoes. Let's go play.
nice.
yes,
Potatoes,
correct.
that's my jam. Bring it on.
And I think if you come across something where you start to feel like it's getting kind of on a nerve or something, just mention so in the chat. We've started using yellow carding, which is a technique that I learned from Nordic LARPing. And it's basically just like the break system of like, hey, I don't want to stop playing this scene, but would prefer to slow down a little bit. I'm getting uncomfortable. And being able to know when you're starting to get uncomfortable is a sign of maturity. You know, like nobody's going to get on you for that. Anybody else have anything else?
Post the speed limit.
What's it basically posts the speed limit, right? If we're having like, and I'll double check, does anybody care if they have a romantic subplot?
No, but it might be a little weird for Mulj in general.
Oh yeah. Well, you just lean away from it if you don't want it.
I
mean,
love romantic
It would be
subplots.
incredibly funny because I feel like Mulj would not know what was happening because I don't think that's how plasmoids reproduce. I'm pretty sure they just kind of like...
they do not. They basically like they spit into a bucket and mix their knowledge into the goo. Basically, it's pretty cute.
So
Well,
that could be incredibly humorous.
and honestly, if Francis needs a sensual back massage after a particularly intense workout, you know, Wrek's got pretty good fingers. So, just saying.
That's why he doesn't use them in combat, is to keep them
Exactly,
because they're married.
They're not for fighting.
Francis
My
is
hands,
like, I'm gonna wreck it.
my hands look like this, so their back can be nice.
Yeah, but just so you can rub the little hippo ears.
Aw.
And yes, thank you, D. Bastionson. It is exactly Odo from DS9.
Oh,
That's what I was
literally
trying
I've been thinking this entire
I was
time.
trying not to make that joke, but it's just it's Odo. Okay, so if anybody else has any more lines or veils, let me know. Otherwise, we can move on. Anybody? So favorite topics? This is kind of one I can just delete off here. I have that for like, we use that a lot in the Spelljammer design. But I think that overall, this is a pirate adventure. This is going to be of a rating where I feel like to ask whether or not you all, like, I know that you all are okay with like fantasy violence. I know you all are okay with some depictions of spooky stuff. But I know you all really well. I've been gaming with you and friends with you for, in some cases, decades. However, if you're running a session 0 for yourself, it never hurts to say, anybody not comfortable with any descriptions of violence, specific ones, because if you're talking about a torture scene, people don't like fingernail stuff or eyeball stuff or bugs, right? Like some people really get freaked out about that. And as funny as it might be to go, my player has arachnophobia, so I'm going to have lots of spiders, it's actually not fun for that player, and everybody's supposed to be having fun, right? Unless your player has said they're okay with it, don't, you know,
And like I am a person that if you like, I don't like physical spiders. There's a lot of things that I can't handle seeing visually, but like hearing the descriptions are fine. And I on stream will go,
Yeah. Sometimes if it gets too, if like, I think it happened in a couple games ago. I don't know. I was just like, I'm just gonna unhook.
Yeah, because some of our games are pretty extreme, and this is going to be one of the lighter, more fun ones, I think. This game's a goddamn romp, and I'm really excited. And I think that's why the internet is divided on it, because it seems like when WotC creates a module that's really fun, like this or Wild Beyond the Witchlight, the internet's like, I'm not sure if I like this. Have fun in my D&D? How dare you?
I always want to have fun in my D&D.
You kind of want that, right? This is the point.
Who put this fun in my D&D?
I pick fights in this game being a little bit more like swashbuckly than serious.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about house rules then, because I think that's probably where this is going to come in. So, speaking on that point, Mike, if I describe a scene and I don't mention that there's a chandelier, you can always ask, "Hey, is there a chandelier?"
I don't need a chandelier. I will run up the wall and then across the ceiling.
Okay, is there a wall or a ceiling?
There
It's a
will
really
be.
confusing room if there's no walls or ceiling.
Okay,
Well,
but
Welcome to space.
but hear me out.
I will use my opponent's kneecaps.
Sitting on the end of a giant warhammer to get flung across a room.
Oh, the fastball special.
Yeah,
a
catapulting.
modified.
Okay.
Can I use my limbs like a slingshot to like yeet a fellow?
Well, let's talk about this.
Particularly
So can
small,
you reproduce? Can
3'7"
we use your
one?
children as projectiles in combat?
Yes, probably. They won't know any better,
Brilliant.
literally, because I don't think they will have put the knowledge in there.
I have so many concerns now.
Just give them little knives; they'll be fine.
So as far as house rules are concerned, we don't use many, but so we do the rule of cool. Basically, if something sounds good, I'll make you roll for it. If it sounds good, it works. Okay, cool. Inspiration. When I give you a point of inspiration, I'm not going to give you one standard every episode, but when I give you one for doing something rad, I let you use it before or after a roll. It's an extra d20. If somebody uses silvery barbs, there's a specific modification to the spell that I use, or an interpretation of the spell, but that's if somebody takes that. Death saves. Now this is one that is controversial, and I want to make sure everybody signs in on this. When people do death saves, originally it was you make a death save, and that's basically your turn. I do a modified version of it, and have for the last few games that I've ran, where when it's your turn in combat and you are in death saves, before you make your roll, you have to give me a memory of, you have to give me a moment that you are hanging on for. Something in your past, something that you want to do, either a memory or a goal for the future. It's a way for me to give you a spotlight for a minute so that you're not just sitting the entire combat out. If you cannot give me a memory or a goal or something, you're going to roll your death save with disadvantage because you have nothing to live for. And you've just told me you have nothing to live for. If you actually give me something very moving, I might give you advantage on this because gosh darn it, you gotta live. So is this, first off, is this a rule you guys want to do?
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that.
Yep.
Number 2, do I roll your death saves or do you? Because that's the other controversial one. A lot of people like me to roll death saves for you because then you never know when you're going to die.
I really like that, to be honest.
I'm
But
okay with you doing it, but
People
I
are
don't-
mixed. Does anybody dislike it? Just tell me flat out. So, Christa, you made a face.
I am between it. I'm not like, if it's the way everyone wants to go, totally down, not a problem. I like to have it in my own hands, and if I kill my character, it's me and my dice's fault.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's nice it being, our doing when our character dies, even if it's, like rocks fall, everyone dies, roll death saves.
Yeah.
At least we rolled the death saves. That feels like an important part.
Okay. If that's what you want to go with for this adventure, we can do that.
Yeah. Do we
putting-
do we
I'm
want to
okay with
kind of
that.
split the difference and say that like we roll them but we don't say anything to the rest of the cast?
I think that sounds good. PM me
Oh,
if you're gonna
yeah.
roll them.
Okay.
And so keep it secret, keep it safe.
That way it keeps the tension.
Because that's
On
one of the big
stream.
things,
Yeah, I
right?
really like that.
Because otherwise it's like, Francis, you're the only one that can heal them. That's fine. They just succeeded their second save. They'll be up next round. They've got no failed death saves. I'm gonna keep fighting.
Exactly.
Right? Because that
Mhm.
people play the game like that because it's like, well, you wouldn't know that. Like you just
Yeah.
see the arterial spray, you know. So I'm fine with you doing that and just keeping it secret. So secret death. PC secret death saves. Okay, so we'll use that modified roll.
Can we have an opt-out option?
an
Like
opt-out?
if we don't want to roll, say you roll it. As
Yeah,
the
you can
private
say
message?
roll it. You can say roll it for me,
Okay.
but you'll have to do it every time, just so
Yeah,
so
that's
that
fine.
it is a special.
Yep.
Okay, so nat 20s and nat 1s. So nat 20s, just a quick reminder, they are an automatic hit. They are an automatic critical on a hit. They are not an automatic success on a skill check. Just so you know, that is core rules. However, also nat 1s are not fails. Well, they are in my games because that's more fun.
Mhm.
So a nat 1 is going to be a botch. That's a rule we use. I also use them on saving throws. A nat 20 on a saving throw means that you do not take any effects from the saving throw. Period. If you would normally take half damage, you take none. You got a nat 20 on your save. However, if you get a nat 1, you were vulnerable to that damage.
Double.
Oh, dear.
damage.
Which, if you're vulnerable to the damage you botched on, that could be really bad, but I think that's only ever happened once.
×4 criminy.
Yeah. So
Oof.
so long as you guys are okay with that, I think it raises the stakes because when you get a nat 20 on a fireball roll, it's like, and then suddenly Elton John's playing in the background. I'm still standing. You know, it's
And
you got
then
one hit point.
the shock that you get when you roll a nat 20 on something and you say that it's not a success.
Right. That's
And
great on
it's like-
skills.
Yeah. I quite like
And like,
that.
oh,
that
no.
botch on the saving throw too, because it definitely makes, the standard issue fireball into melee combat. Well, I know my friend has this many hit points, they'll be fine. Much less of a guarantee.
Yeah, friendly fire is a thing. So what we have also been doing is, so we have channel points that can be bought on Twitch. So for those of you who are tuning in for this as your first Dork Tales game, you will hear me say 3 of the following things pretty regularly. Hurt them more, something good happens, or actually 4 things: drama bomb or determination. So determination is the chat can spend points, which are collected by watching. It's not a pay thing yet. No, it's not a pay thing. I would love to get paid every time someone uses a determination. That'd be great. But what determination is, it's a little token. It'll show up on the screen. It looks like, if you're watching live, you'll be able to see. It looks like that, but it'll be a different color. When
That's
somebody
weird. I haven't
spends,
seen it yet. I'm just being surprised.
yeah.
It
was good.
It's very nice.
So when you spend that, you get your proficiency bonus again on a roll. Even if you already had it on it, whatever your proficiency bonus is gets tacked on. You cannot add it after I tell you if you succeed. You can do it after you roll. So you can roll and be like, I got a 15. You know what? Just to be safe, let's make that an 18. You can do that. But once I tell you it fails or succeeds, you can't. You can only ever have one at a time. Is another thing. Hurt them more basically is the chat buying me the ability to cheat in my favor. I can use it to do things like do extra damage, get extra attacks, regenerate hit points. I don't have to tell you what it does. I can just use it to give you disadvantage on things. It's basically just to balance it out because there are 5 of you, and D&D 5e is actually a pretty easy game compared to previous editions. This kind of ups the ante and makes it good. Something good happens is I can use my discretion to make something good happen. Oh, we accidentally held on to the magic item. Yes, Mike, what's up?
Do you have an upper limit on your hurt them more? Because I've seen times where people drop like five or six of them. I'm like, so now everything Kelly's rolling is like reroll.
So there's
like,
10 per session is the max. I believe it is
Good to know.
10 of those, 6 hurt them, or pardon me, 6 something good happens. I think we're 5. I think you get half as many of those. Determination can be bought 3 times per person per game is what it works out to, or something like that.
Per viewer, you mean?
No, I think I've calculated by a number of like 5 players, I think. But
Oh, so theoretically you could, so you have 15 max or whatever.
I think it's like 50 or something like that. It's like 10 or 15.
Okay.
I'll double check in a minute. And then for drama bomb's the other one, which basically just makes me make whatever scene you're in more dramatic. Like, I've seduced this bar wench. Time to enjoy the fruits of my labor. What are you doing with my wife? It's more dramatic. But if you
the
roll
one in
well,
Nethergate.
it could be more
Done,
fun.
Done.
Oh yeah,
You
when I
wanna
spent it last
join?
No spoilers, but oh my god, that was
last night
so
for Call of the
good.
Netherdeep. I believe you know me. Oh, I know you all right. Oh my god. Oh, that was rough. Thank you, Robin, for being such a good sport about that. 'cause
Yeah,
that was
so good.
okay. So, with that, we've gotten most of the basics out of the way. Now it's time to talk about character interaction, and I guess, how long do you want to have been traveling together? What do you think?
Well, I found that Wrek's backstory is he was a pirate, so I kind of get the feeling he's been going from coastland to different ports and stuff like that. So it's pretty natural for him to move around.
Okay.
So
Francis
be
is,
easy to meet up with people.
yeah,
So is he
same
a-
with Francis.
Is he a pirate or a privateer? Is he stealing from people, or is he punching pirates? Because that's legal.
He is a treasure acquirer.
Okay, that sounds good. How about you guys met when whatever passenger vessel you were on was attacked by worse pirates, and you had to
That
join
works.
up? Like, you were on a cruise. You won tickets on a cruise from Uzi Land or something. It's like one of those Uzi princess cruises.
The Oozy Boozy Cruisy. I remember.
I
the Oozy
love
Boozy
it.
Cruisy.
Yes, which is different than the booze cruise.
Yeah, of course, of course. This in this cruise, the booze is the ooze. It's very confusing.
Okay,
I don't know
so-
why they put the winning sticker on the bottom of the cup. I spill it every time.
Yeah, I know. Usually you should just roll up the rim normally.
Yeah.
Okay, so that works. So you guys have been for at least one adventure.
Sure. Couple months, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Couple
I feel
months?
like we know each other well enough to have inside jokes, but not well enough to like know everything about each other.
Okay, so
Yeah, that sounds good.
okay, so I'm gonna say pirates. You fought pirates. Did you have an undersea adventure in one of the Sea Elf kingdoms?
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Given
Please?
the opportunity, goodness.
I mean,
I
that
do
sounds
have a
really
swim
rad.
speed.
Yeah, you might as well.
I think I
Gif-
might too. I need to double check.
GIF are rough, man. Like,
Oh,
they are
can I interrupt for a quick question on GIF?
always. yeah.
So in the original stat block I was using, they got 3 points to put into attributes, so either 2 and 1 or 1 1 1. Now in the upgrade that you sent me, or the update that you sent me, that has the firearms mastery and the astral spark,
So
it doesn't include any of that.
So basically that's it does, but it's not telling you that it does. So all races now have that. There's a section at the beginning that says all races get that.
Oh,
they
got
just
it.
they wanted
Okay.
to streamline like publishing. So it's
Totally,
now
makes
just
sense.
every race gets 2 and 1, and they always get their own language and common.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good that way.
Okay, cool. Good to know. I just wanted to, because I had already built all my stats and stuff, and then I was like, oh no. So no, perfect.
And so that's the main map. So I have a map that actually has whatever. I have a map somewhere that has whatever elven cities exist off the coast. It's like Jurtoka or something like that. Aimag. Yeah. That's what it's going to be. Is the adventure of Aimag. Okay. I'll spell that out for you later. Okay, so what else did you do? Let's say you did 3 adventures before this. So Sunken Elf City, Pirates, and what do you think?
Heist?
Yeah, I was
Heist?
about to say something where we got in real trouble.
had to
I
run.
love heist.
That's why we're hiding in Uncanny Cove.
So you had to steal
Mhm.
from a Triton, an Aboleth, a water dragon, a.
Do we want to have it be more inland, and that's why we're hiding on the coast?
Maybe
It's up
we
to
were
you.
simply just misled and we stole some sacred artifact of some fancy church and now they're out to, cause us
There we go.
trouble.
That could work,
Okay.
yeah.
Millie, that's your idea. So can you do me a favor and roll me a
Oh,
die?
dear. Sure.
Can you roll me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.
Pub crawl that led to heist.
Okay, can you do
Yes.
me a favor and roll me flip me a coin first if you have a D2, so odds and even.
I don't, but I'll do a D4.
Yeah, do me a
Hang on.
D4, and if you roll a 4, you stole from an evil god instead of.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, so roll me 3D10 and tell me what you get. Because that's how many gods we have. And I will just count down. So roll 3D4 and subtract 3.
Okay, so then.
So pardon me, not
I
3D,
have
3D10, 3D10.
Yeah, so
I'm
I have
down.
17.
17. So you stole from uno, dos, tres. Okay, do it in English, Kelly. You're going to forget halfway through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Well, you either stole from Beatrice, the goddess of cities, or Machios, the god of strength.
So
Did
Was it
we
a
steal Machio's like cool
commemorative-
gloves?
the punching gloves of
Commemorative
Machios?
belts?
It was a commemorative belt or a commemorative plate set?
plate.
Commemorative plate set of
Plate set.
Machios.
Yeah.
Except
Because
we
then
also
it-
dropped it.
Because then it's like, is it a commemorative plate set that you eat
Did we
off of,
break
or
them?
like a weight set? Like a
No,
A
this is like
plate
this is like the Star Trek. Well, but the thing is, it's Machios, so it's like the Star Trek plates, but each one of them is at least 45 pounds, and has a hole in the middle.
Okay,
Which
so
makes-
it's best of both worlds.
Yes, basically like from the Franklin Mint. You're exactly right, Lost Crack.
Did we break one or just steal it?
Roll a die, Amy. Give me a D20.
I mean, they're pretty heavy.
20. 1
We tried to
second.
eat off them and then they just fell into the ocean.
I mean, they have a hole. Oh, that's right. They
I got a
into
12.
the. You got a 12.
Fell into the ocean.
You didn't break one, but it got dropped into the ocean,
All right.
Oh no!
Cool.
and it sunk because it has a hole in it.
Of course.
Is that
yeah.
what led us into the our underwater adventure?
Yes.
Did someone underwater pick up the plate and we tried to go retrieve it to return it because we wanted to get Machios off our back?
Yes, you had to fight a very swole Triton. Or alternatively, a bunch of very swole Koatoa. The Swolatoa.
Koaswola.
Is it
real
is
buff,
it
real chill
Cola
fish people.
Swolatoa?
I love it.
is it
Colaswola.
Swolatoa? Is it Swolatola or Colaswola?
Swolatola sounds better.
Swolatoa.
You were right first time.
Yeah. Swolatoa.
Okay, so a bunch of Koatoa. That and the thing is about Koatoa, when they believe
They
something,
never ever skip leg day.
they never. Well, no, they don't. When they believe something so hard, they can dream gods into existence. So I think they dreamed that they had really nice calves, and like you had a small army of very buff Koatoa that you had to deal with. We don't talk about how it resolved though.
Okay. That's cool with me.
Maybe it didn't
I'd-
resolve. Maybe they're just out there being very, very buff fish. Doing salmon ladders.
Oh my god, salmon ladders. Oh, jokes, BC.
Is that why the cannery popped up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like one of those, and you're feeding families for months.
Jason Swolatoa.
Oh my god.
Okay, so what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say,
Speaking
Krista?
of gods, so you only have one god of zeal.
A lot of them could do zeal though, so if you find like one who's like quick write up sounds good, let me
I
know.
don't know, because are there any in particular that
Which one were you looking at?
storm giants like?
You say storm giants or cloud giants?
Cloud giants, sorry, cloud giants.
I mean, Vela is definitely zeal. She's a bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. She's this she's like a less. I mean, it's not much to say that less sexual than Zeus, but she's about she's Zeusy. She's loosey goosey Zeusy. You could be a cleric of Algorithmo, the god of algorithms.
Yes.
But I mean, a lot of them could do zeal. Like, what's the vibe of the god you're thinking of? Like, if you shut your eyes,
I'm feeling very like chaotic good.
Chaotic good. I mean, that's pretty easy
Yeah.
to sort by. So there's Dempsey's the god of the sea,
Okay.
who's a pretty new-ish god by the time this game came around. He's basically Brendan Fraser from The Mummy.
Okay, I'm on board.
Yeah, everybody's on board. There's chaotic good. There's Kazan, the god of adventure, who may or may not be Kazmareya, the goddess of travel in drag. Who
Okay,
like
yep,
she
very godly.
literally puts on she basically sheiks up like Zelda and goes and
Yep.
adventures away from her dwarvish husband.
Spectacular.
She's pretty great. She'd be very zealous. More chaotic good. Also Kazmareya, the goddess of travel. Chaotic good. Or we could make one.
I could be persuaded to Demsis,
Dempsey's, like you're saying, like Patrick Dempsey's.
Dempsey's. No, because he's a sea
that's-
god and it's Dempsey's. Got it.
That's part of the joke. Yeah, you got it.
Yes. Okay.
I
Understood.
do appreciate the idea that Dempsey's and Machios are like the big gods in our situation. In our,
They're on the coast,
I
man.
was gonna say situation, but scenario. But I feel like situation
Scenario.
is still appropriate.
We're not
So-
in a situation. We are the situation.
That's true.
It's
I mean,
too bad we
really-
don't have good
Yeah.
situational awareness, though.
There's really only one way out of this situation, and that's to have like some UFO like pluck us off of the planet. But that'll never happen.
Never. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
So besides that, other ones that
A UFB, unidentified flying boat.
So the other one that could, I mean, you could be with Mitna, the goddess of victory. It's like Nike but evil.
Eh.
Uh,
I can get down with a god of tempest because that feels kind of like I was kind of leaning like, okay, what's tempest? What's war?
Shit, you know what? So storm giants actually really dislike Vela, the storm
Cloud
goddess. Both. They actually
Okay.
really dislike Vela for a number of reasons. Dempsey's and Vela are in a war right now, so a lot of cloud giants have switched sides.
Perfect. Dempsey's it is.
Dempsey's. And that actually was created by Schulten, our former divine producer, who is now the world building producer. So
Hell yeah.
Dempsey's
Ship name, the situation.
the situation. I'm thinking that's almost a party name at this point.
That oh no, we can't be the situation.
We can't.
We
Why not?
can't. I can't relive. I can't live
With Jersey Shore.
in Jersey Shore anymore.
All of you
I
guys are
avoided it
like
the first
Jim
time
Tan
around.
level. Jim Tan level.
More Jersey Shore, more like Jersey Short.
Oh, Jersey Short. Okay. So, anything else that we should talk about?
I don't know. I have a question about the rules about my character's creature classification because
Yes.
unless they've changed something in the official release, they're classified as an ooze and not a humanoid.
Yes,
Which
you are.
specifically, there's only a couple spells that impacts, but
Mhm.
there are some that specifically say humanoid. Did we have an opinion on that, or are we cool with just
So that is kind of a rough one, right? So with the
like
prior
hold
to the
creature would work, but hold humanoid would not work, sort of thing?
the whole person wouldn't work.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I guess the question is like, would that work from like a narrative standpoint, because you're a player. Yeah, technically this spell should work on you, but that's part of the joy of being an ooze. It's almost it's a bonus, right? So like you are
and
immune
there
to
are
certain
specific
effects.
and there's certain spells that are like extra damaging because they're an ooze. So I don't know if anyone wanted to chime in on that.
I don't
I was
know.
just looking
I would
at-
picture a hold person spell would be like the T1000 when he got frozen, and then he'd start to like slowly melt away into like a new puddle, and then reform from that.
Kind of,
Well,
yeah. It's like I'm not a solid person, so if your spell is essentially to like
It wouldn't hold you. It would just slow you down for a bit while you change your formation.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no if something says that, unless I see a rule that contradicts me. And please, if you'd like to in the comments, if you know, with some of these newer books, if there is something that shows up, because this did happen a couple times in Wild Beyond the Witchlight, where they changed things to Fey templates, and then I'm like, oh, you actually can do things that you couldn't do before because this is a Fey creature. So it seems like, no, you're right. That would work for you. And then Cheshire is a construct.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
as a construct, she would not be affected by hold person as well, if I'm not mistaken. But I think maybe she'd take more damage from shatter.
Is she considered a creature?
No.
What are Warforged considered?
Warforged are considered creatures, so anything that is any character is a creature.
Got it.
But I'd have to look up the exact. You know what? I've got the PHP
Yeah.
like literally right here. Let me just double check this. So let's check. So shatter would
I
not
wasn't
be as
sure
much.
about cure, because cure wounds does just say creature.
So glitchlings are designed to be able to be healed. It says that in their write-up
It does.
specifically, but they can also heal themselves, right? With like a tinker's kit or something.
Ooh, I didn't read that. I'll have to look over what you sent me again.
Yeah, so I believe that glitchlings can be healed. That is definitely in the write-up. So cure wounds specifically states, I know this is super engaging television. A creature you touch has no effect on undead or constructs except glitchlings and warforged.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so because they are expected to be players, it's written.
It's usually written into the write-up. I'm pretty sure. And
Gotcha,
autonomes
gotcha,
can also
gotcha.
heal with mending. That is correct. Absolutely.
Right.
they're
Cool.
good things to know. Neat.
I'm pretty sure. I'll just double check. Glitchling.
That's pretty sick because mending is just cantrip.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's amazing. Good job, autonomes.
So glitchling. I'm just gonna double check. Living construct. You were created to benefit from several spells to preserve life, but normally don't affect construct. Cure wounds, healing word, mass cure wounds, mass healing word, and spare the dying. Dying all work on you.
But it doesn't look like I can heal myself.
So it doesn't look like you can do that, but you get a bunch of other cool stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things.
Also, so they list the exact. I would point out that reincarnation, resurrection, and true resurrection are not on this list. Neither is revivify. So I'm not.
Ooh.
That's neat.
So don't die. Don't die, fam. You get one shot.
Literally.
One opportunity.
Oh, but then again, if you look at, so revivify says a creature that died. It does not say anything about no effect. So that's probably why it isn't listed.
Oh,
But
okay,
but
that
also
makes
just don't
sense.
die. Just don't die. And for those of you who are wondering, Glitchling is an Unearthed Arcana race that has just been put out. It looks like they're hinting at maybe doing Dark Sun. Glitchlings are humanoid constructs that come from where the Modrons come from, the plane of order.
Yeah,
Created by forces
merger
of
of
Felnar,
magic
Glitchlings
and
being-
machine.
Being human-like creatures made from a merger of magic and machine.
More than meets the eye.
Cute.
All right. So with that, any other things that we want to talk about?
I mean, I'm excited.
I'm excited. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
I think
goopy.
that's about it. I want to go finish character creation now that we have more details.
It's going to be great. Adventuring group random
Mhm.
name generator.
I need to do all my spells and stuff. I've never played
Oh,
a
that's
druid
right.
before.
We do probably need a name.
The sea snakes. The you could be the sea team.
Oh my god.
You could be the C word. No. You could be Squidward's 5. You could be 4 dancers and a tiefling. Wow, this is really on this list, huh? I used a generator. The slippery anchors.
Jeez. These aren't getting
Okay.
better.
Have we been known to take things and pawn them? Is that kind of our vibe?
You want to be the Pawn
Are
Stars?
we-
Every
I wanna
chance I
be-
get.
I want to be the hawkers, like Jim Hawkins.
Ooh, that means we can like spit loogies.
That too.
All right. Well, tell you what. We'll put in. I'll put hawkers. I still think the silver standard is a great name as well.
Also,
You get-
That is
Treasure
also
Island
a
ship.
very good
Also,
one.
yeah, you got me on that.
Yeah.
The silver standard's pretty good.
That's really
with that.
good. Because
All
I
right.
mean that does kind of sum us up.
Yeah, we're not the
Yeah,
best.
we're not
but
getting a
wait,
gold
wait.
medal.
We're
Yeah,
just
You
we
got
what
the
we like
bar
to
really
think we
high,
are.
but not too high, because I am only 3'7".
I'll throw you over.
Thank you.
I have yet again played a giant race.
You could be the
I-
first race.
Gifts
I feel like we
Gifts
need to
start
stack
at
ourselves in
7
order
foot.
of height. We're going to be like an exponential graph.
I have
I-
once again played an anime girl.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens. So
As is tradition.
And int is
So-
once again my dump stat.
Terzelta has suggested the sophisticates. So fishticates.
So
And- and I
The
have
fish sticks?
suggested the first rates, as in the pirates and first rates combined.
oh my
I do
God.
like first rates.
the
I like-
microfiche.
oh god.
All
I
right.
still really like Silver Stand. Bounty
Thank
Ink.
you.
Squid
Yeah,
Ink.
the ink in my brain thinks incoming.
You could be
Every
Squid
time I
Ink.
see it now.
Oh my God, Squid Ink.
My dog just went off about something. I don't know what it was.
Squid Ink.
All right, Squid Ink. I'll put that on. We know we'll do a poll. We'll do a poll.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. We're gonna end
what-
up with Party McParty Face or something.
You can change it in game. People aren't paying for tickets.
It's true.
Oh my
The
god.
fish and
and
chips.
every time we introduce ourselves, it says a new party name, and none of us remember what the last one was.
We're the guardians of the neighborhood.
Constantly arguing about what we call ourselves.
Guardians of the
We-
gangplank.
I'm also good with this.
We did all have a different name for the party.
Yeah, we're the Ya Boys.
Fish and
We
chips.
just collectively invent one before stream starts every session and just pretend that it
Yes.
was always the name.
I think that. How about ship it?
No, it's
The ship happens.
We're the
Ship
ship and we're
happens.
always whispering about people on the ship we think should get together.
All right, so y'all keep posting in our private chat about this as you think.
Yeah.
The Crazy
oh
Five.
god.
We'll,
That's
we'll just
all.
make up a big random table.
I like how we keep going up with fish and ocean related names, but we're gonna be
Yep.
We
On the
We
we
need to
ship.
come
do
up with
fish
something
out of
that's
water.
fish themed.
I mean, nothing says it has to be fish themed.
Fish Gordons.
Why is it when you said that I suddenly heard the Queen song start playing in my head?
Yes. Correct.
What name was this?
Fish Gordons.
Fish Gordons.
Oh
Fish Gordon is like this. Fish Gordon is a guy that you
Can
owe
we-
money to.
I was gonna say, can we meet Fish Gordon?
no. Is that one of the crow swoltoas?
He might be. Jason Swilto is another one.
Not.
Jason Swoltoa.
Jason Swolto.
The Abyssal Wanderer's
This
Naughty
will wander
Pride.
the naughty time. That's pretty good. I like Ahoy crew.
The gangplanks. Ship happens.
Oh, crew, yeah.
Mhm.
No. Oh,
The
God.
starfish.
Okay.
The starfish.
Oh dear.
Why is it all fish?
You could be the
We
you could be
went
the sea
real hard
stars.
with the pirates. The
Because
sea
we come
stars.
from Uncanny.
Exactly.
That smell does not get off
All
of
right,
us.
who's the captain?
I'm impressed we got so many sea puns here. They're really quite efficient.
very-
Yeah, there's
today.
a lot of them.
Who is the captain, and why is it probably Tana?
Yeah,
The only one with
The
their
only
head
one
on
with
straight?
sensibilities.
I don't know.
that's correct.
I do have a really fancy captain's hat, but it looks pretty dominatrixy, so I don't know if that's quite the right vibe.
I think that's probably the right vibe.
Yeah, but wearing a blue wig and a really giant hat seems like a terrible decision.
That sounds like, I don't know about you, but that sounds
I'll put
awesome.
a fan directly at my face. I'll be very happy when it's winter.
Ralph
Yeah.
Macchio's
Yeah.
Play collection.
It's true. Yeah, you guys don't want to be the C section. Yeah. Peer pressure. Yeah. The uncanny stars is a pretty good one.
Starboard.
Dark
Oh,
Space 9.
Starboard.
Starboard's pretty great.
Oh
Oh,
god.
God.
Yeah, I think we just need to take all of these down and just put them in red, like just have a name in the hat, and whenever we name ourselves, we pull it out.
No, we'll
Dork
start putting
side.
it on the Wikipedia
I love
page.
Dork Side of the
We'll just
Moon.
keep adding to it.
There we go.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
No, don't
All right.
add to it. Just swap it out every time.
Make more things for the wikis to do.
No, we'll do that.
Yeah, they're not busy enough. All right, so I think that is probably good then, unless we have anything else we want to chat about. So, so folks, join us not this weekend. This weekend is Extra Life Tabletop Appreciation Weekend, where we're going to be raising money for sick kids. Come and join us for that. But next week, on the 28th of August, we are going to be starting at noon Pacific time, and that is going to run about every bi-weekly. We're doing it on the 28th and the 4th, and then we're bi-weekly from there. Unless some surprise event happens. So I hope you join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got 12 episodes of fun here. And I really am enjoying the setting. They've made things very easy. Also, one thing that you'll be learning, it's one of my favorite things, is they've done a bunch of rules to make like space astral sea ships function. And they have this thing called a gravity line, which is like the way gravity functions on the ship. And it's just a line that goes through the hull, like the very bottom of it. However, it's two-sided. So you can walk on the top or the bottom side of gravity fine. So you can literally walk on the bottom of a ship in space.
love
The
it.
upside
That's
down.
pretty cool.
Amazing.
And they
Clearly,
came
we
up-
need to do that to board ships dramatically.
Well, and they came up with two rules, because what happens if two ships hit each other, which gravity works? And it's a genius little mechanic, and it's which ship has the most hit points. That's literally it. So it's like bigger ship or more damaged ship, like or less damaged ship. Boom, there you go.
Mhm.
It's so easy, and I love it. But we're going to be getting more into that as we play. The first episode is going to be mostly land-bound. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really look forward to seeing you all in costume. It is going to be a lot of fun.
Pointed look at Krista.
Pointed look at Krista. You swore an oath.
Hang on. Wait. I'm just gonna.
Oh my god.
See? We're totally fine. This is awesome, isn't it?
You're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah, the scale's a little off.
The scales, yeah.
Yeah, better.
Better.
You're gonna have to move your microphone, but we'll see how we can do this.
That good?
That's better. Because you can order a green screen mask with eye holes, right?
Yes.
I've used that in games before. It's pretty creepy.
I
Um,
feel like if you use the puppet, you should be there and just also go ventriloquism
Just also.
style.
but the puppet needs the outfit, so
Yeah,
Exactly. The puppet needs to
outfit.
be very fancy.
so you need to go on like a toddler site and buy a toddler Henley to dangle off of that thing.
Exactly.
All right. So, folks, that's going to be it for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in to session 0 of Spelljammer, The Light of Xaryxis, or however it's pronounced. It's definitely it's a fantasy word. Who cares? Folks, we're going to be jumping into that. Thank you so much for joining me, players. Why don't we do a quick round, starting with Mike. We'll work our way backwards. Say who you are, where we can find you. Mike.
I've been Michael, and you can find me this weekend doing stuff with Extra Life and Dork Tales. We'll be having a fun all weekend long, so stay tuned on this channel, and you'll be up to all sorts of hijinks with us.
Sounds good. Millie.
Oh, hi, I'm Millie and or Bunny Hearted over at twitch.tv/bunnyhearted, where I am a retro-styled nonsense bunny girl VTuber doing my best to make a warm, welcoming, and inclusive space that I would love to welcome you to. So pop by sometime if you want to. Until next time, though, I'll be back here on Friday for 2 Extra Life games I'm real excited about.
It'll be great. Kat.
Hey, I'm Kat, and I am also a distinctly bunny-ish VTube streamer. Because there should be more of them.
Chanting.
You can find me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Captain Starbun, where I primarily do a lot of sci-fi or story stuff, but we'll soon be getting into some makers and crafting stuff too. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
All right, Christa.
Hi, I'm Christa. My mic's really far away. Hi, I'm Christa. You can mostly find me here. You can find us especially on our Patreon when I run Strixhaven, and it's nonsense, and you should definitely come watch everybody just make out with random people, because that's what that game has become. It started that way, let's be honest. It started.
It's quite delightful, though.
It's delightful. And otherwise, yeah, on Extra Life, we're on Saturday, I'm running The Quiet Year. Michael's gonna be in that one. And then we're running followed by The Witch is Dead, which I'm very excited about. And I have $250 from Terran to Sow Chaos. So yeah. Or you can find me on TikTok at JahistaFX.
Do it. And our TikTok is Christa, you're on our TikTok.
I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm editing some stuff. There's some if you aren't on our Patreon, you want to see some Strixhaven stuff, it is up on our TikTok. And I'm gonna put the Keiko remix up on TikTok pretty soon.
Beautiful. That's on our Spotify now, so that's good. And Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy. I am very much excited to look to play Mulj when we get the chance, and I will also be doing some Extra Life stuff this weekend. You can find me at twitch.tv/paradoxicalghoul, where I am attempting to try and do more streaming, mostly video games, mostly nonsense and chaos, and it's a good time. And you can also come find me hanging out on our Dork Tales Discord, because I kind of live there.
You run that town.
I do. I like it. It's a good place.
Nice. And I'm Callie. This is me. This is what I do. This is what I do for a living. So that's fun. Also, I wanted to quickly shout out our artist Kiyoshuki for doing amazing work really quickly. Like I said, go support her, like buy all of her stuff. And also to shout out Mike, who did all the graphic design for this, redesigned the Spelljammer logo, made it all sexy and sweet. This is not even the final form of our overlay frame. They are going to be much sexier, because I've already seen some temps of things that he's been working on. If it looks good on Dork Tales, it is either because of Mike or because I copied something Mike did and tweaked it to make it slightly different, because Mike was busy.
Kelly just admitted he's stealing my artwork.
Yes, I did. We have a gentleman's agreement, sir.
Fine. I'll just go and make better stuff then. That'll make it harder for you to steal.
It really does make it harder. It does make it harder. So I also wanted to thank everybody who is tuning into this. I hope you come and enjoy the episode. And if you are interested in doing some support, quick reminder that Dork Tales is a full-time gig, and you can help make it a little bit easier by going to patreon.com/dorktales, becoming a patron, where you get exclusive perks. You also can get your name shouted out if you're one of the big time special VIP top tier people, like my world building producer Schulten, my divine producer DM Michael Gray, my demonic producers Soul Omen and Precarious, and my princes of the Patreon, the Traveler, Amberthist, Aeolus the Forever Cleric, Cubby Gummy, Trizelta, Buddy, and Terran. It's also where you will get first crack at watching episodes of Strixhaven, which Christa runs very, very charitably there, which we'll be releasing to everybody else sometime in like October or November. There's a 3-month advanced grace period. And it is also where you're going to be getting advanced copies of the podcast that we're recording, Dork Tales the Podcast, which is ridiculous. There's a large spider right now in the game, but he's a nice guy. Or maybe he wasn't. I don't know. It's kind of a plot thing. And the greatest bartender in history is in that game. It's great.
Yes. Very good.
So hopefully you'll do that. Also, you get other perks like a podcast every month, which I got to go record next week, and at least one pre-recorded episode that nobody else gets to see. And we've got other stuff in the works for perks coming soon. So yeah, take a look. Patreon.com/dorktales. It's worth it, and so are you. And now that I've shilled that out, we're back up at 99 patrons. Oh, I've got 99 patrons, but a bitch ain't one. No.
Sure, none of us are. Except for maybe me.
I mean, I'm one, and like I'm.
I appreciate that 3 of you are patrons. That's lovely. It's always great when your friends do that. And the other 2 were patrons at one point. And then you went back to school. Yeah. Give me your $1 a month again, Kat. No, I love you all very much. I really, I wanted to say this again because I think it's really important to acknowledge this. I was doing a bunch of editing on not Strixhaven, on Netherdeep episode 12, and we had a ton of technical issues, so I was editing tons of things out of the YouTube, and honestly, that normally puts me in like kind of a stressy, like, oh, not another edit, but I had to spend about an hour and a half editing that video. And it was just lovely being reminded how much I love spending time with all of you. Like, I mean, obviously these are different friends, but like, I love spending time with you. I love doing this as my job. You all are amazing. And thank you for being with me on this space adventure. All right. So with that, we'll see you next time. But until then, we're going the only place the capitalists can't find us. Space. I love Tim Curry. Have a great night, everybody. We will see you, I guess, for Extra Life, but back for Spelljammer. Bye.